Hello, my name is Dan Stevens, and this is my personal brand story. Today I'll be using Jim Signorelli's StoryBranding 2.0 and the story brief model to summarize and reveal my personal brand. Beginning with the backstory, my backstory. I was born in Youngstown, Ohio. It was really a all-American, just great place to be. We were one of the largest steel producers in the country. So I got to see a fleeting glimpse of our American dream as it was just on the way out the door, essentially, for at least Youngstown and many others. So around 13, the steel industry had collapsed, and with it, my family, actually. So my mother, a single mother now, had taken me and my brother to Florida to get a better opportunity for us and for her as a nurse, coming from a nice Catholic upbringing and very conservative Midwestern values to a very different culture here in the South. Grades declined, and I was on the way out of school, and by I think 15 or 16, I had the new badge of honor of being a high school dropout. And with that, also met my girlfriend and future wife, Melissa, here. And we, at 17, decided we were going to chart our own course and start our own family. And so at 17 and her at 18, we were now teen parents, coupled with high school dropout. I quickly knew if I was going to be able to support a family, I needed to get skills. Turned it around quickly, GED, then degree, then another degree, then another degree, and then a really great Fortune 500 career that followed in business development and sales. As Signorelli shares with us, telling a personal story as to why you may have chose your profession can help reveal your outer layer. Interestingly, I was an accounting major at UCF. First day, first class, managerial accounting, took a quiz, an inventory quiz. Thankfully, this professor had the insight to have all of us do this. Upon completion, she stated, if you've missed one or two of these, you may want to consider taking this class at this time and or this major. Well, needless to say, I had missed the vast majority of the questions on the accounting inventory quiz and was in shock. I am high school dropout turned GED turned community college grad at this big university, and I have just epically failed my first quiz in accounting. Maybe not the right major. Roaming the halls, trying to find admin to add drop classes. Walked into the marketing department, and the rest is history. Met the chair of marketing. He just happened to be sitting in his office. The whole hallway was blacked out. No one was back there, but he was. And I was peeking around. I was like, hey, do you have a moment? He's like, hey, I have a seat. And I'm like, I told him my dilemma, and he just kind of tilted his head. And as I looked around, he had a Rhodes Scholar certificate on his wall and lots of other degrees and accomplishments. And he tilts his head and leans in and he goes, sales is the only profession that you can make six figures after graduating with a bachelor's. In fact, you can make more than doctors and lawyers can. So with that said, having a family, seeing the writing on the wall that accounting was not going to be my calling, and grabbed a hold of that opportunity and never looked back. Signorelli mentions in story branding, rather than tell the audience what you value and believe, maybe share a quote that resonates with you and why. One that I like as I've transitioned my career is Bill Olay with MIT's Entrepreneurship Center. Bill goes on to quote, in disciplined entrepreneurship, to be a successful entrepreneur, you need the spirit of a pirate mixed with the discipline of a Navy SEAL. And I just love that because as part of my backstory, growing up in Youngstown, the least pirate place you could think of, I had learned through my aunt that we are descendants of a notable pirate. I love that concept of a pirate meets Navy SEAL and applied to the business world, because pirates often have to challenge the status quo, take risks, have vision as they search for treasure, and be willing to put it all out on the line. And that's absolutely what an entrepreneur does. But more than risk, you need the discipline of a Navy SEAL to execute on that strategy and work well under high pressure. To be a successful entrepreneur, you need the spirit of a pirate coupled with the discipline of a Navy SEAL. Signorelli says that when we're using story branding in developing our personal brand and conveying that message, to share with the audience something we do or I do outside of work. I'm a proud parent of adult children now, 3, grandparent of 4, and Yorkie daddy, Yorkshire Terriers, 3 of those. In addition to that, really into history and the outdoors. I also like to watch my son perform in a worship band, go to church, and I'll pop in occasionally to the Catholic Church, usually when no one's there, just for a quiet place to meditate, pray, get a little of that holy water that never hurts. In terms of my UVP, I would say it's somewhere in the scope of being able to make something happen with few resources. Signorelli asks us to leave you with a call to action to learn more about me and my personal brand. You can learn more at our website, piratagroupmarketing.com, Pirata group.com, that's PGM for short. And we do a lot of good work there. You'll find it interesting, I believe. And then I did a podcast interview a few years back, underthecrossbones.com. It's a pirate podcast, and it's got a lot of different folks from bands, actors, entrepreneurs like myself, and you can find that interview if you search my name, Dan Stevens, at Under the Crossbones. Again, thank you for your attention and interest, and I hope you found this informative and enlightening about my personal brand. Dan Stevens, signing off from Titusville, Florida, and the marina behind me.